Infor Time Track, Employee Type, Quantity Reporting and Workset Setup. This session reviews how to configure quantity reporting and workset proration for an employee type. To begin, select the employee type icon from the Administrator homepage. To configure the quantity reporting, select the Quantities tab. Quantity configuration is available to both elapsed and clocked employee types. By default, Time Track allows users to report quantities and to set operations to complete in the Time Track transaction forms. When the Allow Quantity report is set to Yes, Allow Reject Quantities and Use Reason Code for Rejected Quantity also default to Yes. When the reason code for rejected quantity is set to Yes, the user may look up reject codes in the ERP system from the Time Track transaction form. When it's set to No, there is no lookup. When Allow Rejected Quantities is set to No, the Use Reason Code for Rejected Quantity parameter does not display on this form, and neither Reject Quantity nor Reason Codes will display on the Time Track transaction forms. When Allow Quantity Reporting is set to No, neither Allow Rejected Quantities nor Use Reason Code for Rejected Quantity parameters will display, and none of the quantity reporting fields will display on the Time Track transaction forms. When Allow Complete Operation is set to Yes, the Complete Operation checkbox will display on the Time Track transaction forms. When the default operations complete is set to Yes, the operation will default to complete when there are no more quantities to report. When default operations complete is set to No, the operation will only be set to complete when the user manually sets the checkbox. When Allow Complete Operation is set to No, the default operation complete parameter does not display on this form, and the complete checkbox does not display on the Time Track transaction form. The quantity configuration has additional features in CSI integrations. By default, Time Track still allows users to report quantities, reject quantities, and to set operations to complete in the Time Track transaction forms. When Allow Quantity Reporting is set to Yes, employees in this employee type may be given access to move quantities to inventory at the last operation by setting Allow Quantity Moves to Inventory at last operation to Yes. When this flag is set to No, users belonging to this employee type will be able to report quantity at the last operation, but when they do so, they will not be redirected from the Time Track transaction form to the Job Move form. When Allow Quantity Reporting is set to No, neither the Allow Rejected Quantities nor the Allow Quantity Moves to Inventory at last operation will display on this form, and none of the quantity reporting fields will display on the Time Track transaction forms. A second additional feature available in CSI integrations is the Allow Out-of-Sequence Reporting parameter. When this parameter is set to Yes, users may elect to move pieces out of sequence either forward or backward. Say a job has operations 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. User may move pieces from 10 to 30 to 40, back to 20, then to 50. When this parameter is set to No, the next operation field on the Time Track transaction form will be read-only and will default to the next sequential operation. A third CSI integration quantity parameter is Restrict Quantity Complete to Quantity Received. By default, CSI does not restrict the quantities completed at an operation to the quantities that have been moved into the operation. As a result, Restrict Quantity Complete to Quantity Received defaults to No. When set to No, quantities completed at an operation are only limited to the quantity released on the order. When set to Yes, the user will receive a hard stop if they attempt to complete more pieces of an operation that have been moved into that operation. In Time Track, a work set refers to an ability for an employee to work on multiple tasks at one time. The employee specifies the start and end time of the task, and Time Track prorates time to the task based on the proration method specified on the Workset tab. Worksets always prorate labor. However, when combined machine and labor on the General tab is set to Yes, Time Track will also prorate the associated machine time. The Workset tab allows independent definition of proration for labor and machine. There are three types of labor proration: straight, runtime, and quantity. Straight proration merely divides the duration of time jobs in the workset overlap by the number of jobs in the workset. So 2 jobs in a 3-hour workset will each be charged 1 hour 30 minutes of labor. Quantity uses the weighted averages of the quantities of the overlapping jobs to prorate the labor. One job for 100 pieces, another job for 50 pieces in a 3-hour workset will apply 2/3 of the time to the 100-piece job and 1/3 to the 50-piece job. In this case, the 100-piece job is charged 2 hours of labor and the 50-piece job is charged for 1 hour. Runtime works the same way as quantity. It uses the runtime in the job's operation to determine weighted averages, then applies the weights to the duration of time with overlapping time. The proration methods available for machine are machine proration, straight, runtime, quantity, labor dependent, or none. The primary difference between labour and machine proration is that labour prorates based on the number of overlapping jobs in the work set, while machine time prorates based on the number of jobs with overlapping time on the same machine. So in a 2-job work set running for 3 hours where each job runs on its own machine, the machine time for each job would be 3 hours. In another work set with 3 jobs running for 3 hours using straight machine proration, where 2 of the jobs are running on one machine and the 3rd job on another machine, the 2 jobs on the first machine would each be charged 1.5 hours machine time, and the 3rd job would be charged 3 hours machine time. Straight runtime and quantity works in the same way as described for labour proration, except the proration occurs across overlapping jobs on the same machine. Labour dependent and none are non-time trap methods, where the site intends to extract the hours, then apply their own algorithms, then adjust the hours in the underlying ERP. Labour dependent charges each job for the machine time used in the labour proration formula, regardless of whether the overlapping jobs are running on the same machine or not. None makes no attempt to prorate machine time. Each job is charged the full duration of the work set, regardless of overlapping jobs or number of machines used in the work set.